Ismael El Mayo Zambada, one of the most powerful drug traffickers in modern history and the co-founder of Mexico Sinaloa Cartel, has pleaded guilty to charges in the United States. On Monday, the 77-year-old appeared in federal court in Brooklyn, New York, where he admitted to engaging in racketeering, conspiracy, and running a continuing criminal enterprise responsible for distributing and importing huge amounts of drugs. Prosecutors said he oversaw the import and distribution of huge amounts of cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, and fentanyl into the United States. In court, Zambada reportedly said he recognized the harm he caused by bringing illegal drugs into both the United States and Mexico.
I recognize the great harm illegal drugs have done to the people in the United States and Mexico. I apologize for all of it, and I take responsibility for my actions.
In pleading guilty, Zambada reportedly acknowledged the extent of the Sinaloa operation, including underlings who built relationships with cocaine producers in Colombia and who oversaw the smuggling of the drug across the U.S.-Mexico border. He also reportedly acknowledged that people working for him paid bribes to Mexican police and military commanders so they could operate freely. Zambada helped form the Sinaloa Cartel in the late 1980s and slowly became a logistics expert. He worked closely with El Chapo, who is currently serving a life sentence in the United States. Together, prosecutors say they built the cartel into the largest drug trafficking organization in the world, moving cocaine from Colombia, heroin from Mexico, and later fentanyl using chemicals from China. Zambada was arrested in July of 2024 after arriving in the U.S. on a private jet with Joaquin Guzman Lopez, one of El Chapo's sons. U.S. authorities said Guzman's sons tricked Zambada into traveling and then handed him over to American agents. That move sparked violent clashes between Zambada's supporters and El Chapo's sons. Now, following his arrest, Zambada said that he did not surrender voluntarily and accused others of forcing the transfer. The Mexican government later said it was investigating whether his handover to U.S. agents violated Mexican law. Now, by pleading guilty, Zambada has avoided the possibility of the death penalty. And the U.S. Attorney General said Zambada committed serious crimes and will now pay for these crimes by spending the rest of his life in prison.
Drug kingpin Ismael Zambada Garcia, also known as El Mayo, has confessed to a lifetime of crime in service to the Sinaloa Cartel, a foreign terrorist organization. Thanks to the relentless work of our prosecutors and our federal agents, El Mayo will spend the rest of his life behind bars. He will die in a U.S. federal prison where he belongs. His guilty plea brings us one step closer to achieving our goal of elimination of the drug cartels and the transnational criminal organizations throughout this world that are flooding our country with drugs, human traffickers, and homicides.
The plea comes at a time when the United States is increasing pressure on Mexico to take stronger action against drug cartels. President Trump has classified these cartels as terrorist organizations and even directed the Pentagon to prepare military options. Now, earlier this month, Mexico sent more than 24 suspected cartel members to the U.S. after receiving assurances that the death penalty would not be sought against them. With Zambada's guilty plea, another chapter in the history of the Sinaloa Cartel closes. He's now due to be sentenced in January of 2026. However, the influence of the cartel continues with factions led by El Chapo's sons and Zambada's loyalists. For the U.S. and Mexico, however, the case highlights not only the scale of cartel influence, but also the need for deeper cooperation. How both governments choose to act now will shape the next phase of the fight against drug trafficking.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
Stands at $36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktor
Hindi,
$30 trillion ka karjo.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Sekali radikali. Stop.
Japanese,
$4 trilhão euro.
Portuguese,
Por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select a language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.